Hello. In this video, we'll start with the chapter or the first chapter of the standard 10th algebra, that is linear equation in two variable. Okay, so let us begin with the first topic or the first type of this chapter, which is called as basics and standard form. Now children, let us understand what we mean by linear equation, or what do we understand by this name of the chapter, linear equation in two variable. Well, we'll understand each and every word of this chapter, that is linear equation in two variable. The first thing how we start is with the word equation. Now what we mean by word equation? Now children, whenever we hear this word equation, it will simply mean equal to sign. So any mathematical statement or any mathematical form in which there is an equal to sign in it is called as equation. Okay, that was the meaning of the word equation. Let's see some example to understand this more clearly. Suppose we have something x plus 5 in which we have a variable which is called x and we have a number, the number is 5. So x plus 5 together, this is called as expression. Is it an equation? Still it is not an equation. Why? Because for getting equation, we should have with sign, equal to sign, and till now there is no equal to sign in it. So this is called as expression. Now x plus 5, when it will become equation? When I add equal to sign in it. Okay, so now is it an equation? Well, still it is not an equation, because for getting equation we should have two sides. One is left hand side and second is right hand side. Okay, so let us balance this with this complete expression with and get first equation. Let's say if I add 0 to right side. So how do we read this now? X plus 5 is equals to 0. Is it an equation now? Now it is an equation because we have equal to sign. We also have some mathematical operators, that is plus. We have variable and we have some numbers. So that was the first equation. X plus 5 is equals to 0. Let's see few more example. Second example is 2x minus 8 is equals to 0. Now it's your turn. Can you tell me, is it an equation? Let's see by the definition. For equation we should have equal to sign. We have it over here. We should have a mathematical form, that is mathematical operations like variables, plus, minus, something like that. We also have that. And right side should be there should be some number. That means we should have left hand side and we should have right hand side. In this we have both. So yes, it is also an example of equation. Well, this is a very basic example of equation. We might come across many such type of equation in upcoming chapters. Let's see few more examples. The next example is x square plus 2x plus 6 is equals to 0. Okay, my question is very simple. Is it an equation? The answer is yes. Once again, why? Because for equation we should have equal to sign. We have equal to sign. We have variable and we have some numbers and operators. Good. Let's see one more example. Second is x cube minus 27 equal to 0. Okay, is it an equation? Yes, it is also an equation because we have equal to sign. We have a variable and we have two sides, left hand side and right hand side. Okay. Now let's see few more example related to this chapter. The next example is something like x plus y is equals to 20. Tell me, क्या ये equation है? Yes, ये भी equation है because यहाँ पे there is an equal to sign. First thing, we have two sides, left side and right side. Okay, and along with that we have variables. So the equation is x plus y is equals to 20. Okay, and one more example related to this, 2x plus 3y is equals to 10. Yes, it is also equation because we have equal to sign. We have two terms, two sides, left hand side and right hand side. So all these are the example of equation. Okay, so this was the meaning of the word equation. Fine. But we don't have to only learn about equation. That's we have already done till our 8th standard. Here in this chapter, we have to do or we have to learn with some topics called as linear equation, a special type of equation. So the next word what we should understand is linear. Now what we mean by this word linear? Linear word terms or linear means whenever the degree is 1, whenever the degree of a power is 1, such equation are called as linear equation. Now you might get some doubt what we mean by degree. Well, we have learned this concept and a topic in 9th standard polynomial. I'll revise this for you. Degree means highest power. So whenever the highest power is 1, such term or such polynomial were linear polynomial. And in this chapter, whenever the highest power will be 1, such equation will be called as linear equation. Let's check one by one. Okay, if the power is 1, then only we can accept that. let's say what is the power of variable x over here? There is no number written on the upside, that means the power is 1. Second, 2x minus 8 equal to 0. So what is the power over here? Since there is nothing written over here, similarly the power over here will also be 1. So these are the example of linear equation. Okay, let's take second equations. X square plus 2x plus 6. Now I want you to understand degree means highest power. We have more than two terms. So what do we write? Power of x over here is 2. The power of term x over here is 1. And since there is no variable, the power is 0. Now what we mean by degree? Degree means highest power. What is the highest power out of 0, 1 and 2? Of course 2. Since the highest power is 2, that means degree is 2. And since degree is 2, degree is not 1, which means that this is not a linear equation. Fine. So x square plus 2x plus 6 equal to 0 is not a linear equation. Okay. Let's take another example. Next is x cube minus 27 equal to 0. So what is the power of x over here? The power of x over here is 3. What is the power of this term? Since this is a number, the power will be 0. What is the highest power? 3. Since the highest power is 3, that means degree over here is 3. And since the degree is 3, it is not accepted. Therefore, these are not the example of linear equation. Okay. Let's take another example. Another example is the power of x over here is 1. The power of y over here is also 1. Since the highest power is 1, the degree is 1. And since the degree is 1, this is also an example of linear equation. Let's see the last example. The power of x is 1. The power of y is 1. Of course, we shall also check the number. The power of any number is, of course, since there is no variable, it is 0. The highest power is 1. That means degree is 1. And since degree is 1, this is also an example of linear equation. So children, till now we have learned what we understand by the word equation and what we mean by the word linear. So we understood what is linear equation. Okay. So can I say these are the example of linear equation? And of course, these are the example of linear equations, which means this is not a linear equation. So we have to only study such examples in this upcoming chapter. Okay. Now in these equations, there is only one variable. In this we have x, and in this we have one variable, that is also x. Since there is only one variable present in the entire equation, this equation are called as linear equation in one variable. Okay. Let's see over here. In this equations, we have in all two variables, that is x and y. Since in entire equation there are two variables, this are called as linear equation in two variables. So this is what we understand by the term linear equation or linear equation in two variables. Hope it is clear to you. So we have learned what is linear equation in two variables. So how do I club everything? Any mathematical statement which is having at least an equal to sign, which should have an equal to sign in it, along with any one variable, that is called linear equation. If there are more than one variable, two variable, that are called as linear equation in two variable. Okay. So this was the basics about what is linear equation. Now let's understand the second particular topic under this basics, which is called as standard form of linear equation in two variable. So let's understand what is the name of the heading? Standard form of linear equation in two variable. How many variable we need over here? Two variables. So generally we take two variables as x and y. Okay, so x and y are these two variables. Now children, every variable should have a partner, and these partners in algebra are called as coefficients. So the coefficient of x is a, the coefficient of y is b. So we have got two terms over here, ax and by. Now let us join these two terms. We get ax plus by. Now let's put one more constant term, that is plus c. Now my question is it an equation? No, not now, because there is no equal to sign in it. So let's put equal to sign and let us equate this with some RHS, and that is 0. So ax plus by plus c is equals to 0 is called as standard form of linear equation in two variable. I repeat, ax plus by plus c is equals to 0. This is called as standard form of linear equation in two variable. Fine. So this is called as standard form. Now after standard form, for any equation to be a linear equation, there has to be some condition. So for that there are three conditions bacha lo. There are three conditions. Let's see one by one in detail. The first condition is regarding the coefficient. In fact, all the conditions are regarding coefficients only. What is the coefficient of x over here? It is a. What is the coefficient of y over here? It is b. So the first condition says that your coefficients can be any number, but it should not be 0. Means a cannot be 0 and b cannot be 0. A and b should not be 0. Now you might be having questions, why? Why sir a and b cannot be 0? Because children, if a is 0 or b is 0, 0 multiplied by a variable will be only 0, because 0 into anything is 0. One similarly over here, 0 into y will be 0. So we get something 0 is equals to constant term. Okay. Now that is not possible. Okay. So that is why whenever we get 0, the variable vanishes. Variable chala jata hai. And for that only the first condition says that coefficients a and b cannot be 0. So this was the first condition. Second condition. Now second condition is regarding all three coefficients, that is a, b and c. Your three coefficients a, b and c. In fact, that third coefficient c is also called as constant term. A, b and c should be real number. Now remember real number 9th standard 2nd chapter. What we mean by real number? It can be any number. Sirf root mein minus nahi hona chahiye. It can be integer, it can be ratio, it can be fraction, it can be decimal, it can be root wala number also. Root 2, root 5, root 3. All these are also real numbers. But only any number inside root term if there is a minus sign, that is not a real number. In fact, that are called as imaginary number. So that is the second condition bachalo. A, B and C should be real number. Now let's see the last condition. In fact, we know this already because we have just learned that the degree should be 1. The degree should be 1. So these are the three conditions for any equation to become a linear equation. The first condition is, I repeat once again, A should not be 0 and B should not be 0. The second condition is A, B and C should be real number. Okay. Once again, what we mean by real number? Rational, irrational. What were in rational? Integers. In integers there were fractions, ratios, okay, positive numbers, negative number. It can be any sort of number. Fine. So these are the three conditions which says what an equation need to become a linear equation. I hope till this point it's very clear. So once again, what is standard form or general form? Ax plus by plus c equal to 0. Now keep this mind in, make this as a part of note. For solving any equation, we will always shift that constant term on right hand side. Means constant term क्या है? C. उसको हम लोग हमेशा will shift on right side. Okay? Let's see few example of linear equation. कैसा linear equation in two variable दिखता है और how it has to be written in a standard form or in a general form while solving. The first example is 2x plus 3y is equals to 6. Now listen, let's understand. You should not get confused. Sir, over here right side is 0 and in left side we have 3 terms. Now children, what I said just now, for solving any equation, we just shift constant term on right side. This 6 was constant term. So we have directly written that on right side. So we get an equation 2x 3y equal to 6. Now how to check it? Is it a linear equation or not? What is coefficient of x? Coefficient मतलब क्या? जोड़ीदार. What is x का coefficient या x का जोड़ीदार? x का जोड़ीदार यहाँ पे क्या है? 2. Okay, fine. मतलब a का value is 2. What is y का जोड़ीदार या y का coefficient? 3. मतलब y का coefficient is 3. a is 2 and b is 3. a 2 है, b 3 है. मतलब a और b 0 नहीं है. First condition is satisfied. Next condition, a 2 है, b 3 है and c constant term वहां पे रखा. अगर वो इधर से इधर शिफ्ट किया तो माइनस होगा. In fact, let's take only numbers. c का वैल्यू क्या है? 6. मतलब a 2, b 3 and c6. All these numbers are what numbers? Yes, they are real numbers. मतलब yes, it is a linear equation. How? Because even x और y का power क्या है? The power of x and y is 1. So this is an example of linear equation. Fine, let's see one more example. The next example is 5x minus 4y is equals to 10. What is value of a? Come on, you are going to help me over here. A का value is 5, b का value is 4 and c का value is 10. A, b and c, these are real number. A and b is not 0 and x and y का power क्या है? कुछ नहीं है, सबका मालिक 1. मतलब these three conditions satisfy, and even this is an example of linear equation in two variable. Fine. So till now children, we understood what is linear equation, what is linear equation in two variable, and what is standard or general form of linear equation in two variable. Let us solve few sums based on this concept, that is standard form. Okay, let's read the sum. What is the main concept of the sum? They are saying identify which of the following is a linear equation in two variable. Means we are supposed to check whether which of the following are linear and which are not. कौन सा equation linear है, कौन सा equation linear नहीं है. Well, this part we have already done in 9th standard. We are just revising in the first module or in the first type. Let's see the first sum based on this. The first sum is 3x minus 2y minus 15 equal to 0. So what were the three conditions if you remember? A should not be 0, B should not be 0. Second condition, A, B and C should be real number. Third condition was degree should be 1. Let's start. How do I start? What is the value of A? What actually A is x का जोड़ीदार या x का coefficient. What is x का coefficient in this sum? It is 3. What is B का value? The value of B is it's minus 2. Speak along with sign. What is sign of 2? It is minus. And what is value of C? In fact, it is minus 15. So all these three numbers are what numbers? These are real number. Now since they are real number, okay, one of the condition is satisfied, and of course A is also not 0, B is also not 0, and in this sum let's check what is the degree. What is power of x over here? It is 1. What is power of y? It is also 1. So degree is also 1. So yes, this is an example of linear equation in two variable. Okay, so the first sum is linear equation in two variable. Hope this is clear to you. This is the way how we check. Let's see second sum. Now second sum, don't get frightened now the moment you see the root. What is the sum? Let's first read. The sum is root 2x minus root 5y is equals to 16. Simply focus on the terms. What is the value of A? A मतलब क्या? Coefficient of x. What is coefficient of x? X के बाजू में क्या है? Root 2. So we write A का value is root 2. What is value of B? B का value is जो coefficient of y है, y के बाजू में क्या है? Minus root 5. It is, speak along with sign. It is minus root 5. What is value of C in fact? See, you can also take it here or you can keep it there as well. We have 16. Now children, A root 2, B root 5 and C root 16. A, B, C should be kaisa numbers? Real numbers. Root 2, root 3. Just think about this. Root 2 or root 3 real number hai kya? Yes hai. Because root wale numbers are called as irrational number. And rational or irrational together form real number. In short, what I said, real number कौन नहीं होगा जिसके रूट के अंदर माइनस साइन है. इधर कुछ है क्या ऐसा? No, it is not there. So root 2 and next that is root 5. These are of course real number and 16 तो real number है. Second condition, A is not 0 and B is also not 0. Third condition, let's check about degree. Degree means variable का power. The power of variable x and y are of course 1. So degree is also 1. So it is also an example of linear equation. So don't draw smiley at the end. What do we write? We'll write it is linear equation in two variables. Or we can also write in this way. It is linear equation in variables x and y. Hope these two sums are clear to you, which says how do we check whichever equation is linear or not. Let's see couple of more sums based on the same concept. That is whether it is linear equation or whether it is not a linear equation. The next sum children is something like this. The sum is 4 upon x plus 5 upon y is equals to 4. अभी कैसे check करने हैं? See, actually simple है. How do we start? See, we have 4 upon x. Now whenever we have any variable in denominator, we don't need variable in denominator. Let's try to shift in numerator. So for that, let's understand a property. The property of indices. Whenever we have any number or any term with powers in denominator, that is 1 upon a raised to minus n. अगर उसको ऊपर shift किया, it becomes a raised to minus n. Means we only have to change the sign. Example, if we have 1 upon x square, this will be written as x square ऊपर लेके जाओ. What is the sign over here? It is plus. ऊपर गया तो it becomes minus. So we get 1 upon x square का x raised to minus 2. So can you tell me what will be for 1 upon x? What is power of x? If it is nothing, it is 1. X raised to 1 ऊपर गया तो it becomes -1. So we are going to use this property in this sum. So how do I write this? Can I say 4 will be written as it is? That in denominator we have x. So if I take this in numerator, it becomes x raised to -1 plus 5 will be written as it is. Y ऊपर लेके गया तो it become y raised to -1 is equals to 4. Now children, now the things is easy for us. We have both the variables in numerator. Now let's understand and think. What is the problem over here? In this, both the variables have degree which is or highest power or the power which is -1. Now children, that is not accepted because for linear equation, the degree should be 1. Degree matlab power should be 1. And here since both of them have minus power, negative power not accepted, which says that one of the condition is not satisfied. Okay, which says this is not a linear equation. ये linear equation नहीं है. So how do we write answer? Here powers of variables x and y is -1. Okay, so since power is -1, says that degree is not 1, and since degree is not 1, it is not a linear equation. This is not a linear equation. So this was the problem of this sum. Since the power was not 1, it is not a linear equation. Hope you understood this. Well children, we have one more method to solve the same sum. Let me show this. If we have 4 upon x, next 4 upon y is equals to 4. So instead of taking any variable in numerator, what could we easily do is, let's cross multiply. 4 into y, 4y. 5 into x, 5x. And in denominator we get x into y, xy upon 4. So we got 4y plus 5x. Let's shift this on right side. We get 4xy. So what is the power of y over here? We have 1. The power of x, 1. Now here x and y we have combined term. Whenever we have two combined term, x and y together, so whenever we have some multiply, the power will get added, or the 1 plus 1, the power will become 2. So now the highest power is 2. Since the highest power is 2, means degree is 2. Since degree is 2, which violates the rule, which is not allowed. Degree is 2 means it is not a linear equation. So because of this, it turns out that the given problem is not a linear equation. So either you can solve the sum in this way or in this way. In first method we have used the property of indices by shifting the powers in numerator, and in second method we have just simply done the cross multiplication. Hope it's clear to you. You can use any of the above technique. Next, let's see another sum. The next sum is 6x plus 3y is equals to 6xy. Let's start with checking the power first. What is the power of x over here? 1. What is the power of y over here? 1. And x and y, once again we got combined term. X and y, 1. Since the power is 1 of both and in between there is a multiplication, we are going to add the powers. So if I add the power, 1 plus 1, 2. Power over here were 1 and 1. Since the highest power is 2, the degree is 2. And since the degree is 2, it says that it is not a linear equation in two variable. Hope you got this, both the sum which were following the same pattern. Okay, so the degree should be 2. Sorry, the degree should be 1 whenever we want a linear equation. Let's see two more problem based on this. First sum out of that is 0.3x plus 0y minus 36 equal to 0. Now let's check. What is the सबसे पहले power? What is the power of x over here? 1. What is the power of y over here? Of course 1. And number of course don't have power. Since the power is 1, मतलब first one of the condition to satisfy हो गया. Degree is 1. Now let's check the coefficient. What is value of a बच्चे लोग? A means x का जोड़ीदार. X का जोड़ीदार क्या है? It is 0.3. Next is b. B is y का जोड़ीदार. Y का जोड़ीदार क्या है? 0. And c is either you take minus 36 या उधर shift करके plus 36. Now children, this condition says that these three are real number, but one of the coefficient which says that b is 0. This is not acceptable. Hope you remember, b should not be 0, a should not be 0. But in this case, here b is equals to 0. Now since B cannot be 0, the above sum, that is 0.3x plus 0y minus 36 equal to 0, is not a linear equation in two variable. Both or all the conditions should be satisfied to get the answer. Okay, so this was one of the example which says that how a linear equation cannot be formed. Okay, hope it is clear to you, bache log. Let's see one last problem based on this particular question, how to check whether it is linear or not. The last sum, 7x square plus 4y cube is equals to 17. Hey, now you might be very much master over here, right? X का power is बच्चे लोग 2, y का power is 3, x का power 2, y का power 3. Okay, 17 तो छोड़ ही दो, it is a number, we will not check the power. What is the highest power? 3. Since the highest power is 3, इसका मतलब degree is 3. And since the degree is 3, degree should not be 3, degree should be 1. For a linear equation, degree should be 1. Therefore, it is not an example of linear equation. तो ये भी linear equation नहीं है. So children, in the first topic or in the first type of this video, we have understood what is a linear equation. Linear equation कैसा होता है? What is the standard form? If I revise all this quickly, equation means equal to sign, linear means degree should be 1, degree means highest power should be 1, and general or the standard form ax plus by plus c is equals to 0, in which the first condition a should not be 0, b should not be 0, second condition a, b, c should be real number, and the last condition is degree should be 1. Hope you enjoyed this video and understood the concept of type number 1. Thank you.